I've been in New York and New Delhi. I've been in Bangkok and Paris and Rome. Wherever I've traveled, I've seen that calmness and peace of mind are a human phenomenon. They are not cultural. There are people who are calm in all parts of the world, and there are people who are restless, and it's not a matter of how they were brought up so much as who they are and how they live. But one thing I've noticed also is that people who are restless, who don't have inner peace, don't have happiness, don't have their lives together, they sort of spin off in all sorts of directions and nothing seems to go right for them. Now, I think the most important thing that is missing in our culture today is this sort of gathering of our concentration and our forces within ourselves, to remember who we are and what we are, to learn how to meditate. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about meditation. What is meditation? Why meditate? You know, I've been meditating now for nearly 50 years, every day. And quite frankly, I don't know how anybody lives without meditating. And to be even franker, I don't think they do live. I think that they live in a sort of a no man's land because they don't have real joy. Without peace of mind, there is no possibility of happiness or joy. With restlessness, there is only disturbance of the heart and of the mind. And so meditation is a practice which can help everybody. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. I often think that in our day and age, people take the time, many of them, to go out and jog, exercise their bodies. They take the time to brush their teeth and do other minimal hygienic activities that will keep them more or less clean inside and fit. It's just beginning to become known and understood that we also have to keep our minds calm. We have to learn how to control our minds. It's almost like when somebody goes into a factory to help them to know how to cut corners in their work so they can work more efficiently. Our mind is a kind of factory. It's a factory of ideas. It's a factory of energies. And if we don't know how to direct these energies and these ideas with focus, with concentration, then we tend to just sort of jump around or to go in circles. I have seen something else, because not only have I meditated for 50 years, but I've come in contact with thousands of people who meditate also. And I've seen that the people who take the time to meditate, all of them find that they can solve their problems much more quickly, much more easily. In other words, somebody who says, oh, well, I don't have the time to meditate. I've got all these duties to fulfill. I've got all these jobs to do, all these responsibilities. And the truth is that if they could get their minds calm, concentrated, which is what they do with meditation, then they find that in a few moments, they can solve problems that otherwise they might fret over for hours, days, even weeks. It's a very important aspect of your life to be able to use your mind and your energies effectively, and that's what meditation does. Meditation is a way primarily of getting you back to your own center. And I've often thought about skiing and the example of a skier who's rushing down the slope and he suddenly finds himself faced with a mogul. Now, if you don't ski, perhaps you don't know what a mogul is, but it's a little bump in the slope. And as you come to that bump, you have to be able to know quickly whether to turn left or right. And perhaps you've already made up your mind that you've got to turn right when suddenly you see that there's a good reason for turning left. If you are not committed to a turn, or if you're committed to turning in the wrong way and then need to change direction, then you find that you fall down. And so if we have balance, if we're centered in our spines, you might say, then we can quickly adjust to whatever circumstances life throws at us. And instead of shouting and getting angry and upset, you find that you can adjust to reality. In a book of mine called Education for Life, I give a good definition of maturity, which is the ability to relate to other realities than one's own. That means, of course, it includes the idea of being able to adjust quickly to new directions, new ways of looking at things, other people's thoughts, and to see how those might be included in your own. To be in yourself is to be mature. To meditate is to achieve that maturity. So we're going to be talking this hour about meditation, what it is, how to do it. What is meditation? Many people use the word meditation to think about problems, for example. I'll meditate on that, and they let their mind sort of go in circles about how to solve a problem, or perhaps even more than that, or worse than that, thinking about the problem without even thinking about how to solve it. Well, meditation isn't that. That is actually a part of the way the conscious mind works, and we're talking about another level of consciousness. You see, there is the conscious mind, which is basically problem-oriented. It analyzes, it dissects, it sees how this thing is different from that. And there's another aspect of the mind that many people know all about, or at least something about, the subconscious, from which our impulses, our desires, our tendencies that we don't really even know about on a conscious level, and yet they, to a large extent, affect the way we behave, the way we react to things, how we like things or dislike things. The subconscious is the realm of dreams, but there's another aspect of the mind, and people are only now beginning to talk about it seriously, and that is the superconscious. There is a higher aspect to your mind. It's that aspect. It doesn't come from the subconscious. The subconscious is not wise, but there is an aspect of your own consciousness that is wise, that knows what to do in any circumstance. And you've certainly had times in your life when suddenly you knew, maybe you received an inspiration, maybe you knew this is what is right. Maybe you felt that that's what's going to happen, and there was no sensory reason to tell you that's why it should happen or that it must happen. Nonetheless, you know. This is a little glimpse, a sort of a whisper from the subconscious, the superconscious, and you can reach up into that superconscious through meditation. When you meditate, then suddenly you open your mind. If you meditate rightly, you open your mind to that higher aspect of your own being. And so meditation is different from concentration, and meditation is also different from prayer. Prayer, you might say, is asking God to come to you, asking God to help you, asking God to guide you, whatever it might be. But most people in prayer do all the talking. What we have to do is listen for God's answer. Now, I know some people don't like the word God, but you know, God is in you, and He's your own higher self. In fact, you can think of Him as the highest potential you can imagine for yourself. And the reason it's good to think of God is because otherwise you tend to think I, and limit it to the ego. And that's what prayer is basically all about. What you need to do, and you don't need to listen to a voice booming at you from the clouds. You don't need to listen to some cosmic policeman directing you to go left or right. What you need to do is listen to your own higher conscience. We need to listen, and this attitude of listening is often a matter not of what you listen to, but the attitude of mind, how you listen. And so, one thing that will help you is to learn how to release the restless thoughts. I have a meditation which is a long guided meditation, and we're going to use it on this program to help you to get into that. It's called Land of Mystery. In itself, it's not so much a meditation, as I'll define it later on, and yet it's a means of helping you to listen, to open your mind to new realities, to new possibilities. And yes, it's an imagination, and to that extent it's also subconscious in a way, but you need to bring the subconscious into the picture too, getting it to help you to cooperate with that broader vision that you're seeking. So now, let's listen to the beginning part of Land of Mystery, where we talk about sort of releasing your worries, your cares, your preoccupations with your daily life and all the problems that beset you, and just sort of sail into the sunset. Where do clouds sail when they leave the shining sunset behind? They sail for the land of mystery. Will they find what they seek? That depends on you. For the breeze that blows them is the breath of your own peace. Let the clouds sail. Sail away, far, far away, over distant horizons, over gently rolling hills, over deserts where tiny, slow-moving caravans wind their way patiently toward waiting oases. Sail with the clouds above the vast oceans, their heaving swells rising, sinking, constantly as if slowly breathing. Sail above wide prairies, soaring snow-clad mountains, dense forests, and sleepy towns with lamp-lit, winding streets, guarded by tall, watchful clock towers. Sail over farmlands, little patchwork quilts of green, gold, and walnut brown. Fly far, ever farther, until at last you come to a land of golden light. A long way below you, white beaches washed by soothing waves, call to you, come to us. Sleep on our soft sands. A deep blue sea murmurs through the rolling surf. Rest and listen while I sing to you. And palm trees rustling in the breeze, draw your gaze inland. Where emerald green hills call to you invitingly, play here in our golden sunshine. Why not go there? Leave the great sailing clouds for this land of mystery. Skydive freely down gentle breezes, gliding, swooping, soaring, then at last slowly sinking to land gently in a forest glade. Walk on the green, mossy floor, its touch cool on your bare feet. Long shafts of sunlight slant downward like stairways from the sky. The forest you've entered is a friendly one. Fawns gambol near you or graze quietly. Gaily colored birds flit from tree to tree through the slanting sun rays. And tame, kindly animals pause from time to time to gaze at you and nod in friendly fashion. You've entered the forest, and it's really the forest of your own mind with all the trees of your thoughts and so on. And what you want to do is listen, because behind those trees there is light, there is silence. And meditation, finally, is listening to the silence underneath all the thoughts of your being, underneath your personality, and to listen to that deeper side of your nature which sings to you from your own superconscious. Finally, meditation means to focus your attention on those higher realities that are really you. And what are those realities? Well, I started with one of them, silence. But out of silence comes peace. And out of peace comes calmness. Peace, you see, is a negative thing in a way. Calmness is very strong and vibrant. And then behind that calmness, there is wisdom, there is joy, there is love, and there is also light. And underneath the silence, a deep sound, the music of the spheres that the Indian scriptures speak of as Om, and that the Christian Bible speaks of the Amen. But all mystics in all religions have communed with that sound, and it has lifted them out of the ego and out of the thought of self and personality into a recognition that they are a part of everything that is. Now, meditation is focusing on that and gradually learning to lose your smallness, to expand it into that greater reality. Now, there are ways that we can do this, and this is where we have to teach you techniques of meditation. But I'd like to emphasize before I do that, that meditation is also something that you can do all the time. Yes, the stillness of meditation comes with sitting absolutely still physically, but also as you walk, as you go about your affairs, be always recollected in yourself. Be always sort of mindful. You could even put it this way, be other-minded, so that behind the flowers, behind the wind, behind the clouds scudding in the skies, behind that there is some deeper awareness that brought you and all these things into existence. And meditation is something that you can do wherever you are in this sense. Just learn not to talk so much. We do much too much talking. Learn to be a little quiet. And in fact, even when you have to talk with people, don't just listen to their words and don't just blurt in and say, oh, I've got an idea, but listen to what their intention is behind their words, because very often people don't say what they really mean. They often want to, but don't know how. But sometimes they don't want to because their feelings are too deep to be expressed. And so we don't really communicate with people until we learn how to commune with people. And to commune with them means to go deeper than their personalities and to perceive that deep inner self that is struggling for outreach, struggling for communication, yes, but struggling to touch life even as you are. Each one of us is like an island on the ocean, united, apparently separate, but united underneath, because we are all projections of the same Mother Earth. So meditation, again, is listening. And before we get into the practice of meditating in a formal way, I'd like to begin, because I don't want to tie you down to rigid practices that you might find strange. I'd like to begin with where you are in your life, with who you are, and suggest to you ways of transforming that familiarity into something that is a much deeper kind of familiarity. Not just the familiarity that you look at yourself, you see in your mirror every morning when you comb your hair. Not just that person whom you know to have likes and dislikes and habits, but listen to who you really are. Listen to your deeper ideals. Listen to the world. Be more aware of what is going on around you. And so let's also go into this forest floor, go into the forest and look around us. And with the music, feel that that music is expressing our own thoughts and feelings and liberating us from this little busy nature that we've developed with our preoccupation with job and family and all the groceries and bills we have to pay and so on. Forget all that. There's a much greater reality. And your soul longs to be in touch with that reality. As you wander down leaf-bordered aisles, you say to yourself, how beautiful it all is. But what makes this a land of mystery? Is beauty mysterious? Is friendliness? And just then, walking happily, you smile. Ah, look! Aren't the shafts of sunlight through the trees a little brighter? Call to a deer. It glances up, then comes over and nuzzles you. Stretch out your hand to a bird, and in a lively swirl of red and blue, it swoops down to land on your forefinger. A dainty pink and white blossom high above your head makes you think, I wish I could hold you. If only I could enjoy your fragrance. And just then, the long, thin branch reaches down and lets you smell the blossom. Now do you understand? This land is mysterious because it reflects your thoughts. Why, you ask? Because you and it are in harmony. Then again, why? Because your heart is at peace. How wonderfully uplifting this harmony. Embrace it. As you do so, a cresting wave of joy breaks over you, and a chord of angelic music pours through the trees in a stream of radiant light. Rise in the air effortlessly with that glorious sound. On streams of music soar down quiet glades. Above grassy knolls and over flower-scattered thickets. Up shafts of sunlight, then down again. Soaring and swooping like a bird. After some time, come again to earth in an open field at the edge of the forest. On a bush of yellow blossoms sits a blue butterfly brilliant in the sunlight. Spying you, it flutters over and hovers on a level with your eyes. Follow me, whispers the butterfly.
Follow me, follow me, follow me.
Then flits lightly away, leading you. Soon you emerge onto an emerald meadow. Wild flowers of countless laughing colors wink at you merrily through the long grass that sways gently in the breeze. Laugh and skip in the meadow, playing with the butterfly. Then sit quietly and breathe the sweet scent of the wildflowers. Listen. Can you hear rippling music, harp-like on the breeze? The strings of the harp are the long meadow grass. Again now the butterfly whispers, "Follow me."
Follow me. Follow me. Follow me.
It leads you over low hills, through grassy, fragrant meadows, and beside a gay crystal stream, its waters chuckling at the memory of some mountain-told, happy story. At last you see before you the rustling palm trees, and beyond them, a wide, sparkling beach, spreading a welcome to you of warm sand. Walk there, listen to the rolling surf. The waves bring you a message from the sea. You are more, they say, so much more than you know.
More, so much more.
As each wave crests, then curls inward upon itself to break into a riot of white foam, it calls to you, break your littleness. You are so much more than you realize.
More, so much more.
As the foam flows up onto the beach, its soft fingers touch you. Won't you listen, the foam whispers? Then, withdrawing, it murmurs, rest now, relax. Perhaps then you'll understand. Lie back peacefully on the soft sand, and quietly let your mind soar. We've brought you to a pause, and that's what I want to talk about now. That meditation is really, it begins with that pause, the pause between two thoughts, the pause between two emotions, the pause between two events, the ups and the downs of life. And I'd like to begin now to teach you a little bit about the actual technique of meditation. It's time we got to work. What you need to do, if you want to really enter that pause, is learn to keep your body completely still. And then try to make your mind still also. Now, there are certain things that can help you in this. One thing, of course, is deep breathing. Because when your body needs to be oxygenated, when it's full of carbon dioxide, you haven't been getting enough fresh air, then the mind becomes dull. Meditation is not going to sleep. Meditation is not dullness. It's not apathy. It's a moment when your mind is very fresh, very clear, very concentrated. And so the first thing you need to do is breathe a little bit. Now, I'd suggest that you begin by breathing, inhaling slowly, hold the breath slowly, exhale slowly. And in this particular exercise, we won't hold the breath out, but we'll inhale, counting to 12 mentally, hold 12 mentally, exhale counting 12 mentally, like this. Hold. Exhale. And with that rhythm, do that 2 or 3 times. Now, because time is somewhat short, we won't go through that exercise completely. I have a lot I'd like to tell you. So let's assume you've done that 3 times, okay? Inhale counting 12, holding counting 12, exhale counting 12. Now, inhale and tense the whole body. You see, you need to relax the body too. And there are many parts of the body that will be tense even without your being aware of it. You need to inhale and equalize that flow of tension all over the body. Then, once your body is tense, Then when you throw the breath out, you'll be able to relax the whole body simultaneously. So let's then begin. Inhale like that, tense the whole body, and exhale and relax. And when you tense, vibrate the whole body with tension. So once again, exhale and throw the breath out and relax. Now, keep the breath out. It would help you at this point to close your eyes, but don't do it yet because I want you to watch me. There is a point that you need to concentrate on, and that is right here at the point between the eyebrows. You know, it's interesting. People are wiser than they realize. Many spiritual teachings we all understand without knowing that they're spiritual teachings. One of them is that this is the seat of concentration in the body, and you know when you concentrate deeply, you tend to knit your eyebrows, don't you? It's because you automatically send your mind to this whenever you concentrate. Now, what's that mean? You think here. This is the seat of concentration. Now, what you want to do in your meditation is focus your gaze and your attention at the point between the eyebrows. This is the seat also of higher consciousness. It's the seat of superconsciousness. And the more you can bring your mind in a focus to that point, the more you will find your consciousness becoming uplifted. I had an experience many years ago. I suddenly found myself in a mood, and I tried to reason my way out of this mood, and I just couldn't get out of it. And I didn't like the mood, and so I decided, well, instead of sort of thinking my way into a deeper and deeper mood, I'm going to have to try something else. So I sat down, and I focused my mind with all my willpower at that point between the eyebrows. You know that in a few seconds my mood had changed. This is the seat of higher consciousness. When you can bring your mind there, you can get rid of diseases as well as moods. You can get rid of the darkness in your body and in your mind. You can find that everything will go better for you if you can focus your attention there. Just try it. Now, I spoke of focusing your gaze at that point. I didn't mean like that. I didn't mean crossing your eyes so much as you could put it this way, that if you held your thumb out at arm's length, the focus that you'd have there would be just a slight. The main thing is that your attention be here. Now, after you've done the inhalation and exhalation, inhaling, tensing the body, throwing the breath out and relaxing, then focus your attention here and try mentally, at this point you can close your eyes and try to feel space in your body and feel as if all that space were being focused at this point. Now, if you have any sensation, like somebody perhaps is walking outside, maybe you hear a car horn or a train going by or whatever it might be, imagine that that sensation is originating here, not in your ears, not in your body. Try to get everything centered here at the point between the eyebrows. And the more you do that, the more your feelings also, whenever you have any kind of feeling, offer it up. You don't want to do it with force. You have to relax there, because meditation, and in fact the way the whole superconscious works, is not by forcing anything. You relax into superconsciousness just the way you relax into sleep, except that in sleep you relax into a lower consciousness. In this, if you can just catch that little dividing line between the conscious and the subconscious, that's where the superconscious lies. Even at night when you go to sleep, try for a few moments before you surrender to sleep to catch that little dividing line, and you'll suddenly find in that relaxation you may enter into at least a kind of semi-superconscious state. So when you concentrate at the point between the eyebrows, your first rule in meditation is to relax. Relax into awareness, don't relax into sleep. Relax your body by thinking space in your body. And you may think of space all around your body and feel that you are releasing into that space every last vestige of tension and mental preoccupation, and then relax more and more upward. Meditate with a feeling of pleasure, not with a feeling of duty and hardship and stern willpower, but just feel that you enjoy your reality, the deeper reality of your own being. Time passes in deep peacefulness. Now the blue sea sends another messenger. A very large, loving wave surges up onto the beach and wraps you in a shining tunnel of blue light. Lose yourself in that light. Do you hear? A deep rolling rumble speaks to you from inside the wave. We are one.
We are one. We are one.
Leave your little body, friend. We are one.
We are
Melt into the curling wave, into the blue light. Into the vast sea. Coral castles underwater, orange and red, stand sentinel in a dim, luminous world. Tropical fish of many colors dart about, in, out, and over tall turrets and stern battlements. Flashes of turquoise, brilliant yellow, flaming violet, rose. Courtiers and elegant ladies in waiting they seem, proud of their rich costumes, bustling in service to their king and queen. Below them, long ferns like royal flags wave in the shifting currents, reminding you of willows swaying on a gentle breeze. The sun's rays in this underwater kingdom form tall columns, fading off into the distance, shining pillars in a formal garden, where mist hides the surrounding countryside and fairyland terraces step down gracefully to a dark, unseen valley. Gaze into the vanishing unknown. We are one, rumbles the sea.
We are one. We are one. We are one.
Your thoughts, your heart's feelings expand out in all directions to embrace that oneness. Everything around you is a part of some greater you. Coral castles, terraced hills, dark valleys, and the vastness of water everywhere. All this is you. You, a tiny ripple of peace, have become now the vast sea of happiness and joy. Be like the sea. Be like a wave on the sea that merges back into the great ocean and becomes the ocean. The deeper your calmness, the more you will expand. But as the waves rise onto the beach and sink back with a hiss into the ocean again, so now be conscious of your breath. Feel that your breath is like the waves. And watch the breath. Don't control it, but just watch it impersonally and allow it to come in and out. And in fact, in the ancient teachings of yoga, which is really the science of meditation, they say that there is a mantra that will help you to calm your mind, and it will resonate with the breath. So when the breath comes in and you're just watching it without control, as it comes in, mentally say Hong, H-O-N-G. And as the breath goes out, mentally say Saw, S-A-U. Now the meaning of this in Sanskrit basically is I am He. I am that ocean. I am that vast, expanded peace and love and joy. But you don't have to think so much of the meaning, because the words themselves will soothe you into that expanded state. So sit as long as you like and just watch the breath and feel that you are going more and more into the stillness of your own ocean depths, that you are one with the ocean. You are a part of it. Let the breath flow like the waves until finally there's no breath anymore, and there is only your own vastness. That is meditation.